What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's get into it. A lot of people talk about the rapper, the game. Yo, it's game time. Let's go. Now, the game is a rapper that, in my estimation, is a battle rapper. And if you listen to his style, that's what he's mainly known for, is battle rapping. And you can tell from his rap style, it's hard for him to make a genre of songs on different type of subjects and stay on subject. Everything seems to be in battle format. So him feeling a certain way because he was signed to J.O. Felony's Get Low Records, and he was already coming at Memphis Bleek. Once, not J.O. Felony, JT, the bigger figure. So once he was with JT, and he signed with them, and he was going at Memphis Bleek, he decided, once that got stale, to kick it back up once he got with G-Unit to promote himself. But he waited until he got off the grid. And when I mean off the grid, he was overseas to where he thought it was safe to do. And this is before the real emergence of YouTube and like Facebook, Twitter, and all that stuff was just coming into prominence. MySpace back then was like the biggest thing going. So you're looking at a situation that was about to be on the verge of getting out of hand. So the first things to pop off was oh, that's nice. I should have sent me a text. But one of the first things to pop off was the fact that this guy disses Memphis Bleek and talking about NWA and all this stuff, and talking about Jay-Z can suck his you know what, and Rockefeller, Benny Siegel, all of them. Benny says G-Unit at the end of it. So it gets back to Jay, what this guy was saying. He's like, I don't care if your name Hove, Hova, Jay-Z, and none of that. So it gets back to 50 now, and it got back to Jay, because they're doing some cross-branding business together. So they weren't dissing each other. And so he goes back and is like, man, did you diss Jay at your concert? Like where'd that come from? And he was, nah, I didn't say that. Nah, I don't remember saying nothing like that. I remember dissing Bleek in Memphis now, but I don't think I dissed Jay. Then somebody got the audio from it. And then it's clear as day, he's dissing Jay-Z. So Jay comes back and taps him, and of course we all heard the Dear Summer song, and he's just touching him. So that's when he was like, 50 when he got the information that Jay was just gonna touch him something, like he wasn't finna get Game out the business just yet, because at this time he was still signed with G-Unit. But he's about to mess up other types of money that is going to be a major concern for some people like 50 Cent. This is substantial pay. Sorry about that, guys. So after all of this hits the fan, and everybody else is getting themselves in position, once again, he dies down the rhetoric and still talking about, oh, Jay dissed me on the song, and he came out with, what's his name, But under G Unit, he was told not to touch it. Well, once the beef with 50 started to erupt, because it just in a couple of weeks, that ended up happening. So he ended up off the label completely. And it was like, look, well, not the label, but just in the group G Unit, like he's no longer a member of G Unit. Like Game's done. So when it came to that, and it helped strengthen the relationship with 50 and Jay, when Game was pushed out to that position, then you have Jay-Z, who's like, cool, okay, we can do this business that we was talking about and everything else, and we can push this thing to the, this thing to the side. But Game was out of control. It's like he couldn't handle the fame. He couldn't handle the fact that, what was happening around him. He just couldn't take it. He was so excited and eager that it's called like disrespecting the love. He was definitely disrespecting the love, and he was just thought he had made it, and man, I'm finna be the biggest thing in the world, So he felt he was at Jay-Z's level. So they finna go to this, Jay's getting ready for his comeback album. And Game right now is, he's dissing 50 and he thinking this is going to carry him. And here comes Jay with his comeback album. He's going at Jay again, on his second CD, They told him don't diss 50 on the album, which he didn't do, but he going at Jay. You 38 and still rapping, yeah. Trying to take a shot at Jay again because he wants Jay to respond. And Jay is just touching him a little light, like I ain't talking to Dame on that What You Talking About song. It's basically like on his other song, like I'm not talking to him, I'm not talking to Jay. And see, Game will diss him, and then give him credit, like, no, Jay the nicest in the game. I'm not finna go after the nicest in the game and be soft. I'm gonna go after the nicest, and I'm gonna give him everything I got. But he's one of the nicest MCs in the game, and I'm just trying to submit myself, And then he goes and praises him. Then he goes and throws another jab at Jay-Z. And Jay just touched him a little light in that album. But when it got to what I'm talking about, I think that might have been Blueprint 3. I don't know. The album's pretty much like that off the top of my head when it gets into that realm between that Brick album and then Blueprint 3. And the Brick album is Kingdom Come, because everybody keeps saying, what is he talking about? That's Blueprint 3 is not a brick. I never said Blueprint 3 was the brick. The Brick album is that Kingdom Come. So I just put it that way. He touched him a little bit on Kingdom Come with this summer. Then on what I'm talking about, he's just like, I'm not talking to Dame. I'm not talking to Cam. I'm not talking to Game. He's not talking about these dudes. And for some reason, Game thought this is the avenue to come at Jay. So he drops a diss song called I'm So Wavy. And it followed with another one. It was like 2-3 diss songs on there. But Wavy was the one that caught everybody's attention. And he said something that caught Jay's attention. And when he starts saying, you can't even have a child with your destiny. And that's when Jay was like, now he's disrespectful. And he's not going to have any ties to anybody that had any relationships with Game. Like, if Dre had relationships with Game, he's not going to deal with Dre. And then from that point on, Jay-Z and Dre's relationship was severed, as long as he was with Game. Anybody was with Game, going to invite Game to an event, Jay ain't going to be there. You won't see Jay and you won't see Beyonce. Even though he apologized to Beyonce in the diss song for saying the line. It was an out of bounds line. You know, so. And Jay didn't care for it too much. So they had the VMAs pop up, right? And Game was supposed to be at the VMA Awards. So once Game was supposed to be at the VMAs, and Jay, I think Beyonce was going to be there with Jay-Z. First, Jay wasn't going. It was just going to be Beyonce. Then Jay was going. And then he's like, oh, well, Game is coming and this and that. When they were supposed to perform, do some song with Lil Wayne. And it was nicked. So all of a sudden, I'm not going to say Jay-Z said anything. All I know is Jay wasn't even supposed to be there. Now Jay-Z's there. Lil Wayne doesn't perform with Game. So that was all dead. And poof. The Red album turns out to be a flop. It's murdered everywhere because it can't get the push it deserves. On BET, it ain't getting the push. On MTV, it's not getting the push. VH1 didn't push it. And everybody's like, what is going on, man? The Red album was an expensive flop because he decided to go at Jay-Z in a disrespectful way to where Jay-Z's not going to respond to you. You're going to get out of the game a whole nother way. And that's what happened to Game and Jay-Z. I mean, to this point, they still don't talk. And everybody's like, Jay's bitter. Game was just a bit disrespectful. And his apologies are shallow, so they don't really mean anything to Jay. But when you start dissing Beyonce and start talking about personal things like that, Jay gets, different. But I'm out.